a bit bigger than expected. Well, I ordered a specific size and it was bigger. Too long. It's one thickness. I can feel that these are carrying weight now. The wavelength has changed when you hit them. And it's snowing now, which is really a good thing for me because although, well, I put tarpaulins on the roof so it's easy to clear the snow off. Because I mean, in a way it's annoying to have the snow on the batons for the next stage of the roof construction. But the one thing I do want, and that is the weight, because the way I've done these is that they are very fractionally longer than they should be, a few millimetres, and that means that most of the weight is on these. These standing posts in the middle are, I've had to pull the house down in fact in order to give it contact. And the reason for that is because I wanted to have a pre-stressed structure. So I wanted these diagonal pieces to have the stress. It makes the energy go down to the ground instantly when you get a load, a sideways load. Because the energy is already there, you know, the structure is already under load sideways because of the diagonals. Normally the weight is just loading the house vertically downwards, but by having these ones under stress, it transfers some of that load to a diagonal or a horizontal axis, which is what happens when the wind throws the building. When the wind presses the building, the whole weight goes onto the, well, not all of it, but a great deal of the weight goes onto that axis. I'm not going to bother doing that all the way to the back, because once I've got this piece of wood in, I can pound it in place. I quite like these to be very tight, so I just want to have an opening big enough to start it, get it in a little bit. What I was after there. It's tight at the back. It's kind of good that that's carrying weight now. So that's the point at which it demonstrates, at least, the fact that the weight's resting on the diagonal pieces and not so much on the vertical. There was a gap at the top there, but now there's a bit of snow on the roof and it's bearing a bit of weight. It's come down a bit. I've also got a strap on holding the two pieces together, so now I can put all of the screws in. I'm not going to do the next ones as tight as this. This took too much effort. I want that below the surface because I might plane that a little bit. There's a couple of millimetres. I don't know. It doesn't really need it. But I might do it anyway. My electric plane broke. So that's why I do so much hand planing, partly because my electric one broke. They're very expensive. I don't think they're really worth it. We just used a nail to locate that because the idea was that it would be allowed to sink. And this has been my biggest criticism with the use of the screws, is that they don't allow the building to sink. They actually would hold it apart. So if you put them in when it's not completely tight, they hold the building apart and actually weaken it. There's a knot there, so the centre of the tree is here. Not a very good place to put the screw in, really. I mean, it's not very easy, but I have to do it on this side because this is the only side that's not visible. Oh, they're heavy. Heavy screws. Right, I'm going to do as suggested by the subscriber whose name I can't remember. I'll put a little bit of beeswax on that one. The battery's failing, but I don't That is definitely better. There we go. So that means I've got that stop up there free now. It's coming together. I think I might concentrate a little bit on the work in the roof. I've got these braces to do. I started doing this because it was the next thing on my mental list, but actually I realised it's more sensible to do this later, because I want to try and minimise the amount of time I'm renting the scaffolding for. So I'm going to concentrate on these beams upstairs now. I might make some floor to stand on. That should be alright. I just had a thought before I started to put these diagonal pieces in, these braces, that I should just go around and have a little check. When there were 3 of us working here, everything happens quite quickly, and I spent a lot of time thinking about what the other workers have to do. So now that I'm back to working on my own again, I've just taken the time to sink the well, just to relax a little bit and check some of the important functions of the house. So principally the vertical, the plumb. Now in a way it doesn't really make any difference, because these things are the roof construction and the bottom frame are kind of independent of one another in terms of the leaning of the bottom frame. But anyway, before I wanted to put more weight, I mean there's snow coming down now at quite a rate, and that means there'll be a few tons of weight up on the roof now, so I want everything to be as true as it can be. So I just went around and checked and found a little inaccuracy on this part of the house, so I've put a diagonal brace with a ratchet strap. I'm not going to film it because I've got the camera set up for the next bit. So anyway, I've pulled a little bit diagonally with a ratchet strap and then refastened the diagonal brace so that it's nice and straight. Or at least I've divided the difference. I mean the difference is tiny, it's less than a percent, but you know, I do want it to be as good as possible, especially if there's a weight coming down. So I'm just kind of checking to make sure that everything was done right. I found another error here. I'd done a measurement error, so I had to move a couple of screws. That went okay. Otherwise, it's looking really good. The joinery is good. It looks nice. This king post is bang on vertical. It's vertical. Contact that brace there. That's not necessary anymore. That the braces on the truss there will do the job that was doing. Now that the boards are on in the roof, it's all nice and stiff. And I'm quite happy about the snow really, because although it means a bit of clearing, I've got a tarpaulin. I've said this already, haven't I? I've got a tarpaulin to the roof. So it'll be easy to get off again. And in the meantime, it's adding some weight to the building, which is just what I want. Right, not filming anything I've been doing here. So you see I've been putting some planks down, and what I'm going to do is repeat these braces on the other side I'm very happy with the work so far. Oscar and Stan have done a good job. It's actually a bit quiet on the building site without them. It's marked already. On the other side, I think I did this with the circle saw. I don't know if I can film that. Certainly no great reason to do that with a circle saw. Easier. We'll have a straight line. Going to take the corner off so I can get it started, because I quite like these to be quite tight, because the roof has already started taking weight because of the snow. I certainly don't think there's nothing wrong with that being tight now. I mean, you can always, if you wanted to, you could always put a wedge in here as well, from the top there. I don't want to lift it off here. So that's just right, just the right balance there, I think. I've got some ordinary nails, but I think the other ones I used a screw from the bottom. So I'll just leave that nailed for Oh, I used nails in the bottom there, that's good. Oh, that's right. Oh, they're probably big ones. These are 95, those are 125. I'll put one in just safety and then that's frozen. So I'll take my spirit level along with me for the ride. Check over things like this. A slight variation on that one, but that's also the case of the way it's screwed. Good on the outside, but well, it's pretty good. There was a little bit of mild weather at Christmas, at least a few hours, and it's meant that all the bits have got glued together by ice. There we go. I need to make another one of these. I've got 3. I don't want ice getting in the joint. One was actually finished. Looks like I just did these with the chainsaw and then didn't finish them. This one at least. Was it? It's a tiny little bit shorter, so it has to have a higher angle.